The following presentation of Take Paws has been made possible in part by Broward County Animal Care and Adoption, where you can adopt a new best friend for life. Welcome to Take Paws. I'm Mike Moscatello, and this is Bowser. Bowser can be quite spirited, and that's a good thing. As our pets get older, it's important for them to stay active, just like it is for us. Daily exercise, whether it be a walk, a run, or even just a good old romp around the house, helps with circulation, mental acuity, and it makes muscles stronger too. And this includes the most important muscle, the heart. And regular visits to your vet, including blood work on your pet, will make sure everything is in working order. Bowser, I'm sorry to tell you, I think you've come down with tender heart.
I'm Dr. Bahr. I'm here at Lakeside Animal Hospital. We just want to talk a little bit today about the importance of wellness care for our pets. You know, we all think about vaccines as part of our wellness care, but there's a lot more to it than that. In fact, one of the most important things is a good physical exam, sometimes lab testing depending on our dogs and their age, and our cats and what problems we're dealing with. We do see a lot of things that we can catch very early, and so it's important to get in to see your veterinarian on a regular basis so that we can make sure we're catching problems as early as possible. So when we do a regular physical exam, what we're checking for is we're going to start, some people start at the shoulders and work back, some people start at the nose and work to the tail, whatever's more comfortable for the pet and the doctor. I usually start at the shoulders, and so I'm going to take a look at the lymph nodes, the joints of the arms and the shoulders, listen to the heart and lungs, palpate the abdomen, make sure that everything is okay inside, liver, kidneys, spleen, those kinds of things. Go through the pelvic joints as well, so look for hip dysplasia, problems with the knees, the toes, the feet, the skin, make sure there's no new lumps, bumps, or masses. We're going to check the eyes, ears, the nose, the throat, check the teeth. It's an area that's often overlooked with a lot of people at home. We don't look in our dogs' mouths very often. So we're going to take a look at all of that and make sure that everything is as it should be. And if there's any indications that there's a problem, then we're going to go forward from there and do a more focused exam on that problem. It's very common for pets to have problems that their owners don't know about or only have the small inkling about. Beagles in particular, because they have floppy ears, are very prone to ear infections. Because the ears are covered, a lot of times until we flip them over and look either in the ear itself or down into the canal, people don't know that their dogs are dealing with ear infections. Heart murmurs are not, you can't hear them without a stethoscope. Problems in the abdomen, sometimes new masses, tumors or benign masses. A lot of dogs with arthritis, and cats especially with arthritis, they have problems that nobody ever knew because we presume that as our dogs get older, they're going to just slow down. A lot of times they're not slowing down because they're just getting older. A lot of times they're slowing down because they have problems with their hips or their knees, shoulders or elbows, and it's sad to see these pets, and it's happy to see them when we can fix that. We can catch that on exam and make some changes for them, help their dogs and cats live longer, healthier lives so that we can get them the best quality for the longest time that we can. When we do blood tests in dogs, every dog every year gets a heartworm test to make sure that they don't have heartworms, and those tests also, they also let us look for tick-borne diseases and other kinds of blood-borne diseases. It's very important to do that for every dog every year. I also am a big advocate of doing extended blood testing every year, and what that means is getting a CBC, which is a complete blood count. It lets us look at the white cells, the red cells, the platelets. It lets us make sure that everything is going well there. A chemistry profile lets us look at the function of the major organs, the liver, the kidneys, the intestines to some extent, and lets us make sure that everything's going well there. And a urinalysis, which lets us look at the function of the kidneys as well. Also helps us make sure there's no urinary tract infections, which is important. Up to 30% of obese dogs have a urinary tract infection and no symptoms at all. So that's when they did studies, they looked at dogs who had absolutely no symptoms on routine blood work. 30% of those dogs who were obese had urinary tract infections. So it's an important thing that's often missed. We don't think a lot about how do we get our samples in dogs and cats, how do we get blood from them, because when we go, we sit in a chair and we hold our arm out and we don't have hair to cover up the veins, and people get blood drawn from themselves on a regular basis. But how do we do that in dogs and cats? And there's two main places that we draw blood in the dog and the cat. One is from the veins, just like we have in the front legs, right at the elbow, just below the elbow. One person will hold off, and the other person is going to draw blood there. It's also very common to lift their head a little bit and draw blood from the jugular veins. Those are easily accessed, and because dogs aren't so nervous about needle sticks and those kinds of things as people are, it's a very easy, convenient place to draw a fairly large sample of blood. The reason that we do blood work is to try and catch problems early so that we can do something about them. And oftentimes we see problems that we didn't even know that they were there. Paige, for example, this is my dog, she had a thyroid problem that we caught on her routine blood work. We managed to catch that, treat it, and fix it before it got to the point that it was causing her problems with skin infections and lethargy, weight gain, those kinds of problems. You know, it's important to do these kinds of testing. The reason is because we can catch things early, we can do something about that. So for example, cats with kidney disease, we can make a big difference in their lifespan by treating them early and intervening with simple things like changes in diet, monitoring, and those kinds of things that aren't very invasive, not very expensive. We just have to do it, and we can add years to their lives and good quality time. Problems like thyroid disease we can treat with pills twice a day, and Paige gets a pill morning and night, and that keeps her from having problems with her thyroid. And if untreated, that can cause these guys to have a lot of trouble, lethargy, weight gain. In the worst cases, we see some dogs with seizures from thyroid conditions. It can be really bad, and as long as she takes her pill twice a day, that's not going to take any years away from her life or take any quality away from her life, and so that's very important. Definitely dogs with arthritis, dogs with kidney disease, dogs with liver disease, those kinds of things. The sooner we can catch them, the more we can slow those diseases down, and the more years of good quality life we can get. And that's important for these guys. You know, nobody wants to do blood work and find bad things for their pet. But if there's something bad there, we want to know so that we can figure out what's the best way to give these guys good quality time.
If you'd like to help support Take Paws through sponsorship or by making a donation, call 754-321-1000 or go to BECON-TV.